story appears ordinary until you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello there and welcome to CoreTV News at 4 with me, Sabena Izuku. Some national leaders of the ruling People's Democratic Party met Chief Tommy Kimi at his Abuja residence on Friday night and asked him to join the party. The PDP delegation, which was led by the national chairman of the party, Alhaji Adamu Muazu, also had in attendance the chairman of the Board of Trustees of the party, Chief Tony Aneni. Ikeme resigned his membership of the All Progressive Congress on Wednesday after he desired to be the chairman of the opposition party did not materialize. Ikeme told the PDP delegation that he was ready to bring value to the PDP and that he was ready to serve at any level. The People's Democratic Party has cleared former chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Nuhu Ribadu, to seek the party's ticket for the October 11 governorship election. Cleared to contest at the PDP primaries are Buba Mawa and Marcus Gindiri. The three politicians were former members of the All Progressive Congress who had sought a waiver to be allowed to contest for the PDP ticket. In all, 14 aspirants were cleared by the PDP to participate in the September 6 party primaries. As the transformation ambassadors of Nigeria continue to seek support for the second-term ambition of President Goodluck Jonathan, reactions continue to trail this development. Speaking on Saturday's edition of our flagship program on Core Digest, public analyst Olabode Oseni explains that the government institutions set to enhance good governance have failed in ensuring that there is strict adherence to the rule of law.
Most of the bodies, most of the organizations, institutions that are supposed to regulate, to ameliorate the settings of good governance are just not, they are not working. That is the problem. I don't know whether you still understand what I'm trying to say. The records of the federal government of Nigeria, the executive, the legislators, even up to the local government, should speak for themselves. But then, if they want to rerun, they should wait and comply with rule of law. And Section 99 of INEC electoral is clear. It says it clearly. Nobody, and there's no exemption there, I read it. Nobody there.
The United States has assured Nigeria of support towards a violence-free general election in 2015. American Ambassador to Nigeria James Entwistle disclosed this during a visit to the leadership of the All Progressive Congress in Abuja. He expressed concern over the security of electorate in Northeast as the general election draws close. Entwistle says Nigeria can have a peaceful election if politicians agree to work for peace.
I'm talking constantly about the importance of non-violence before, during, and after the elections, calling on all politicians to take the pledge ahead of time to guarantee the voters that they will not participate in violence. I think that's very, very important. I know that the media joins me in this, and I think there's a big role for all of you in the media. If a politician comes and he wants to be on your radio station or your TV station, make him take the nonviolence pledge if he wants to use your station. That's something very, very important that the media can do. So my country stands for elections and democracy around the world, and we're doing everything we can to help here. So far, everything I see is the plan is to conduct the elections everywhere in the country, but that's something that I think we all have to work for, but fully understanding that in certain parts of the country, the security situation right now is a bit delicate. But I think we have to work towards that. Related to that in the Northeast, it's not just whether you can run the elections in those states, It's what happens to all of the voters who have been displaced by the violence. And on election day, if they're not at home and they're not in their polling place, will they be able to vote?
It's his first visit here. We are a party that is 1 year old. And I suppose it was quite right for him to come to make our acquaintance, to familiarize himself with us, our thinking, how we view the various situations as they are developing in the country, our attitude and reactions to the elections that have been held, our expectations for the elections that are to come, and so on and so forth. And it was a very useful discussion.
The Kwara State chapter of the People's Democratic Party has alleged a display of gun power by both youth and leaders of the ruling All Progressive Congress in Ajashe, Ikpo, Rekbodun local government area of Kwara State. In a statement by Kwara PDP Publicity Secretary Rex Olawoye, the party employed the Kwara State Police Command to quickly stop the tide of violence that is now gradually enveloping parts of the state as a result of power tussle over the second-term ambition of the incumbent governor, Abdul Fattah Ahmed. According to the PDP Publicity Secretary, Praka in Ajashe Ipo has only vindicated PDP's position that the leadership of Kwara APC are only interested in retaining power at all cost and that the detriment of the peace and tranquility of the state. He stated that the newspaper report indicated that the bloody fracas was caused by aggrieved Kwara South APC youth leaders who stormed the venue of a meeting where the second-term bid of the governor was being perfected and beat up their party elders, black and blue. The Lagos State Governor Babatunde Fashola has promised to take necessary actions that will ensure equity in delineation of ward and creation of additional polling units by the State Independent Electoral Commission. Fashola made this known while receiving the report on investigation on delineation of ward and creation of additional polling units from the chairman of the Lagos State Independent Electoral Commission, Abdul Fattah Adeyinka. The Lagos State Independent Electoral Commission boss explained that the state will further involve citizens in all parts of Lagos to participate in the process of electing their representatives.
Every state, every country, every community is a continuing work in progress. And so new towns, new communities spring up, sometimes in what used to be forests, areas that used to be rural become rapidly urbanized, people move there, and so it is not just enough to build roads, to build schools, to build hospitals there. It is also important to ensure that those people who have moved into new communities, who have built new estates, have an opportunity to participate in how decisions affecting their lives are taken. And this is the guarantee of participatory democracy in our state.
For his part, the Lagos State Independent Electoral Commission board says the report is a result of the Stakeholders Forum held in 2010, which was later aborted for the 2011 general elections. He noted that the report, if adopted, will assist INEC in conducting elections without any hitch.
One is to go in the log of this exercise, while the other one is to stay in the office, just take biro and pen and paper. How many words do we have now? Then we start delineating. No, we believe we should go into the field and base our report on empirical facts, which is what we have done.
We'll take a short break, and when we return, CoreTV News on the Hour continues. Stay with us.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website, www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime News.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
Welcome back. Nigeria now generates 4,500 megawatts of electricity. Minister of Power Chinedu Nebo disclosed this at the end of a meeting on power chaired by Vice President Nnamdi Sambo at the presidential villa. He told State House correspondents that gas supplies are now reaching the power plant, adding that Nigerians should expect more stable power by October.
We have them trickling in right now, so that part of the shortfalls we've had in production up to this time, we hope that by beginning of October, we will see a much better stabilization of the entire power delivery system in the country. So first, I would say we rejoice that for the first time in a long time, we've been averaging over 4,500 megawatts when we include nearly 300 megawatts of spinning reserve, which is always put there to make sure that the reliability and stability of the grid is ensured at all times. So we are really moving forward. It may not be as rapidly as Nigerians expect, but it's important to let us know and everybody know that indeed we are advancing, we are making progress, we will continue to make progress.
In a related issue, the Nigerian government has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Brazilian power company Benco as part of efforts to ensure adequate and quality power supply in Nigeria. The deal, worth over $800 million, is meant to facilitate the construction of a power plant in Bayelsa State.
The Nigerian government signed a memorandum of understanding, and that memorandum of understanding was aimed at bringing into Nigeria electrobras to help Nigeria develop as much as 10,000 megawatts of power for our people. What we are saying today is the very first takeoff of implementation of that memorandum of understanding, bringing Benco Enagia to work with the Federal Ministry of Power for their plant.
Turbines that runs on gas, added of another 2 turbines that will run on vapor, that will be generated from the exhaust gas of the gas turbines. So that's the power module of the power plant that we're going to be implementing. We have all the right infrastructure that we need, because we also need a lot of water to run through these turbines.
You have to stand up and do it.
The National Boundary Commission is to carry out all necessary surveys with a view to resolving the lingering dispute between Kogi and Anambra states. This was the outcome of a meeting presided over by Vice President Nnamdi Sambo in Abuja. There had been clashes in recent times around borders of 2 states over the ownership of an oil-rich community, but after the meeting, the 2 states' government had convinced that the dispute would end soon.
Direction of Mr. President, the Boundary Commission is tracing the boundary between the affected states in our area, and by the grace of God, by the end of this year, all these issues will be behind.
And I'm quite pleased with the meeting and the way the Vice President carried out the meeting. He basically gave directives to the National Boundary Commission to set a date to do all the necessary surveys and establish the boundary between us and the Kogi state. And I believe in the near future things will be sorted out.
And away from that, the federal government has lifted the ban placed on residency training at all federal hospitals nationwide. It has also ordered the reinstatement of all resident doctors who were disengaged as a result of the action. Health Minister Yobuchi Chukwu says all chief medical directors and medical directors of the training centers have been directed to issue letters of reinstatement to the resident doctors to enable them resume work immediately. He, however, added that the appraisal of the residency program is still ongoing with a view to making it better. It will be recalled that a few days after calling off their nationwide strike, the doctors had complained that the government had not withdrawn the suspension circular. The Rivers State government has identified the lone Ebola casualty in the state. He is Ike Enemu. The doctors that attended to an ECOWAS staff who was one of the primary contacts of the late Liberian-American Patrick Sawyer. The doctor was said to have treated the diplomat of Ebola symptoms in a hotel in Port Harcourt. River State government has placed 100 people on surveillance, including contacts from the hotel, the doctor's patients, and the patients of the hospital where Enemuo was treated before his death. The ECOWAS staff who took Ebola from Port Harcourt was initially placed under surveillance in Lagos before escaping to seek alternative treatment. We'll take a short break, and when we return back with foreign stories. Stay with us.
From the capital markets, we bring information on stock market reports, talk about GDP and economic growth, showcase entrepreneurs and startups, bring on financial experts to analyze and share the views on financial issues affecting the economy. On Business Weekly, we bring business to you.
Welcome back. British Prime Minister David Cameron has urged Scottish people to reject independence in a rare speech in Glasgow, in which he says their argued union is a strong economic advantage. Cameron says the union between Scotland and England is the greatest merger in history as he addressed the Conference of Confederation of British Industry in Glasgow. Most opinion polls currently suggest the proposal, which would end more than 300 years of union with the rest of the United Kingdom, is said to be rejected.
In 1707, the greatest merger in history. 3 centuries on, our union and our prosperity are still closely bound. Business could become tougher, trade could become more costly and complex, jobs could become harder to find. So my case is this: our single market is one of our union's greatest advantages. If we stay together, Scottish businesses have better opportunities, Scottish consumers have more choice, Scottish people have more secure jobs. Why put all those great advantages at risk by going into the great unknown? In a fast-moving world, with the rise of new economies in China, Malaysia, Brazil, size does matter. That size, the sheer scale of our union, gives Scottish businesses a government that fights for them around the globe. I would argue in Scottish business today you have the best of both worlds.
Over to Ukraine. The United Nations says the conflict in eastern Ukraine has killed nearly 2,600 people since mid-April, saying the sharp increase is as a result of fighting in densely populated areas between Kiev army and pro-Russian rebels.
The current number of killed is 2,593 confirmed deaths, which is close to 3,000 if we include the 298 victims of the MH17 plane crash, which especially disturbing is the alleged increase in participation of foreign fighters in hostilities.
And that's it on the news on the hour. Please do join me at the top of the hour for more. I am Sabena Izuku. Thank you very much indeed for watching.